A cat in a mech suit exploring an abandoned research facility. Not much more needs to be said about the concept of Gato Roboto, a new metroid-vania game developed by doinksoft and published by Devolver Digital. Is Gato Roboto one of those games that should be avoided, or something to get right meow? In Gato Roboto, you play as Kiki, a cat who accidentally caused their owner's ship to crash on a planet with an abandoned research facility that is sending a distress signal. As the owner is pinned down in their ship, it's up to Kiki to find a way to rescue their owner and find a way off this planet. There's not much of a story given off from the start, and the overall story is adequate, as it is mainly used as a setup for the situation and reasoning of playing a cat in a mech suit. Though as you explore the planet, more interesting things occur, such as rats that seem to be going against Kiki's progress, along with trying to find out what happened to the facility. These mysteries get slowly solved as you find computer terminals scattered throughout the planet, leading to a more compelling story. Though even if you miss them, the story wraps up in a way that makes sense, but definitely feels as you have missed something along the way. Finding the terminals requires exploration throughout the 6-area labyrinth that is the research facility of the planet. It could be possible, but albeit difficult, to miss the terminals. The game has a map on the pause screen showcasing any unexplored rooms connected to explored ones. This makes it simple to find terminals and secret cartridges. These cartridges can allow a color filter to be applied during gameplay to change from the monochromatic look to something more akin to a Game Boy Color look or even the Virtual Boy. The cartridges are not only for a change in aesthetic, but finding all the cartridges can help get 2 upgrades for the mechanical suit from a talking frog named Reba. Even with the map, actually getting the cartridges requires to get through some of the game's more challenging platforming. The mechanics and controls are where Gato Roboto shine. Kiki herself is weak, able to be killed by just touching an enemy, but she has the ability to climb, swim, explore tight passages, and overall has a floaty feel to her when controlling her, in contrast to the mech, which has a heavier feel while being controlled. The mech can take damage, open doors, and actually fight against the enemies. Most of the time, the controls are great, though there were some times where we experienced some inconsistency with jumping while platforming with the mech. Kiki explores the entire facility, going through each of the areas, facing bosses at the end of each one, and usually finding an upgrade that makes it easier to traverse and backtrack in other sections. The suit gets upgrades from extra health to spinning jumps to missiles. It follows your typical metroid-vania and has a good amount of backtracking in order to find some of the upgrades. Thankfully, the areas are small, and the upgrades usually help in ease of backtracking with adding some moves that make your mech move faster. Each area has a different gimmick, such as only being able to use the mech due to extreme heat, to the tightly squeezed vents that has you play mostly as Kiki outside the mech, to the overflowing aqueducts that require the use of a submarine that Kiki can pilot. There's also a variety of enemies that slowly get introduced as you progress throughout the game. These enemies aren't particularly dangerous or challenging, since most of them have simple patterns. Most deaths came from either dying in challenging boss fights or dying in the vents due to Kiki's fragileness, along with her floatiness, which can be annoying while platforming. Even if you die, Gato Roboto is forgiving, as it has a large number of save points. These are easily found before any boss fight or challenging platforming section. While the game only has the black and white 2-color tone by default, Gato Roboto does a great job presenting different atmospheres to the areas. The heaters have a kind of steam effect that emanates throughout the entire screen, while the vents just feel compact and condensed. While exploring, most of the noise will be coming from the game's sound effects, as the ambience of the deserted research facility is paired neatly with either ambient music or lack of music in some of the more unsettling parts. The game does, however, put in aggressive backing that is greatly paired when facing any of the game's bosses, mini-bosses, or rooms that challenge you to defeat new types of enemies. Gato Roboto is a game that can be finished quickly, as it took just under 3 hours to finish it at 80% completion. Though the game is aware of the short time it takes, as it has several achievements to lure players into repeating their experience. These challenges range from players trying to beat Gato Roboto in under an hour, to try and finish without any health upgrades, to scoring a perfect 100% completion. The mixture of these, along with the short time taken to complete a run of the game, makes revisiting Gato Roboto very tempting. Gato Roboto is a game that relies on its kooky premise, but executes it very well. It still aims to be a solid game with essentially reliable controls, suitable graphics, and great, familiar metroid-vania gameplay. Though the short time does leave something to be required. Either way, it's a tale that should be returned to with replays, or hopefully in the possibility of a future sequel. Gato Roboto gets an 8 out of 10. We hope you enjoyed this review of Gato Roboto. If you want to see more content in this manner, please give a like and share this video across social media. We do have more videos on the screen, such as our monthly podcast and more for you to take a look. Thank you for watching.